Hi everyone, it's Autumn here again with Black Spring. I don't want to take up too much time. I do realize that it is Saturday, and I just want to say a couple of things. For one, um, I think I've made a few videos previously on this subject, but I want to be a little bit more direct, and I want to say I want to give a few more specifics and just point out a few specific things. I've made a couple of videos mentioning migration and some of the legalities or the cultures of migration and international law, that type of thing. But this is specifically in reference to our U.S. southern border. Um, However, I want to come at it from, I want to let you know right away that earlier this year, last year in 2018, the United Nations had a document in which was under the review of nations to sign what they called the Migration Compact. The Migration Compact basically promotes what they call uh, regular and safe migration. Also, it's reported that it's not a binding agreement for those countries that did sign this disgusting document. Thankfully, President Trump did not sign this document. However, it seems that here again, the Democrats, the NGOs, George Soros, the probably even the Rhinos have managed to not support the president, and the U.S. is succumbing to. It's like the U.S. has no control over that border right now. If you haven't heard by now, there's an issue with not only the crowding, the overcrowding of the operation, no beds, not enough beds, no space for these individuals who are basically invading the country with no respect for any law. They honor no rules of engagement. There's a threat of Ebola, typhoid, um, tuberculosis. There's just a whole host of epidemic and pandemic that's risk for the U.S. And you notice that you haven't heard one peep out of the Democrats or the Congress to actually stop or even to mobilize the U.S. military forces in order to secure that border. And it's just it's bursting at the seams now. The demographics, there are people all the way from the Congo showing up at the southern border. I think Texas was one of the places where they've had quite a surge in the trying to figure out, these African migrants are coming up to the border and being and turning themselves in. So I'm just not really, I'm saying it's just getting to be, it's beyond crisis at this point. I'm saying that, Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States, is doing, he's single-handedly trying to deal with this crisis, but it's not. I just feel like, the U.S. is on their last, this is the last, Donald Trump is the last defense for the U.S. Everybody is sitting around. I don't know whether this is, you know, everyone, it's just like, it just seems like we don't have enough, we're not making a strong enough stand. That I think we've talked out on this situation. There's been enough talk, no action. It would be much better if the troops were to be deployed to the border, and those from on overseas missions to be brought back to the border to secure it. I just don't. This is I feel like this is going to support, this is all a part of the Democrats' plan. They are going to turn the nation into a one party state, is what the goal is. And when that happens, there will be no balance of power. We will be closer to a not only socialist, full on socialist country with a Democrat power dominating, but it'll also be closer to communism, just next door. So I do feel like, this situation with the border is just another anti-American ploy and scheme, and turn a blind eye so that the Democrats can use this new third class group of citizens that they are going to pander to. They're going to use these people as third class in order to get votes. I just don't even know what it means for the 2020 elections. I mean, I understand, everybody wants to say, oh, tactic wise and strategist, oh, well, the Democrats aren't going to win, but, they don't play fair. A lot of detrimental things have been done to the country, have been done by an anti-American party known as the Democrats, all the way back to slavery, all the way back to the New Deal, all the way back to the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Just everything the Democrats have done have been in an anti-American interest, and I just don't know where it ends. Where it ends. This is so much more than a border, than a line that's being crossed. It's more than that. It's sovereignty. It's national security. It's a health crisis, and I just don't really know. It's going to, as long as it continues, the numbers are going to shift. Those states, they are looking at states like Texas and all these other states, because they're eyeing to turn those states that have been traditionally red states to blue states. And when that does happen, you are looking at a one-party situation. The Democrats have already been whining and fake flagging on the college, the electoral college. They're just looking for any way to cheat, is what I can see coming out of this. But it's definitely in their favor to have people that they've had their hands in encouraging them to come up through that southern border. It's going to play into their favor. But I'm just saying, it's not my goal here to pile on. It's just like, you should pay attention to what's going on here, because you've got people like Nancy Pelosi, who's out here all the time, out here manipulating and indoctrinating people by describing, we live in a republic where things are on equal footing. Each individual, these states count. It is not a democracy. She talks about democracy. She talks about our democracy, and it's just not. You need to do your research when you're looking at what she's saying. If you're not paying attention to what she's saying, then you will not know the deception, the disingenuous statements that she makes, and it really doesn't, it doesn't dawn on people that don't know what's going on. So also, if you're concerned about, who's who, just take a look at your representatives in your state. Look at their constitutional voting records. That'll tell you right away. They're, again, another threat to our republic are these rhinos. And I believe the rhinos are in the tank for this crisis. So here again, it's not my goal to pile on. It's just that pile on every time something happens. To me, it's more important to educate people and give them ways to find information, to be informed. But I'm just saying that, the man behind the curtain is out, and if we don't, if the nation, if we don't stand up, if we don't figure out a way how to fight back, it may be, we may be running out of time. Here again, if you like what you see, like what you hear, please like and subscribe, and better than that, share.